I would say from the developer standpoint, it's because we have lower cost land. We have an easier development process. It's easier for them to get things built than it is in Austin and some of the surrounding suburbs. The timeline to get things developed is lower. And for the residents, I mean, we have good schools, a high quality of life. We have a sense of community here that you don't get in some of the larger cities. It's a good place to live. I mean, that's one of the reasons that I came here. I wanted to, well, besides the job, I wanted to have a nice place to live.
Good afternoon. Who am I with on this fine afternoon?
Scott Jones, I'm Economic Development Director of the City of Manor, Texas.
And now, Scott, how do people know you? How do most folks know you?
Well, I'm around town a lot, so they get a good glimpse of me. Wherever there's a grand opening or new business opportunity, I'm usually there.
Talk to me a little bit about the business climate here in Manor. How welcoming are we to new businesses, stuff like that?
You know, we're in an explosive growth mode right now in Manor, so we have a lot going on. You'll drive up and down US Highway 290, and you can just see buildings rising out of the ground everywhere. So I would say that it's probably the most growth that the city has seen, even though it's been on an explosive pattern for the last 10 years. But we're seeing more evidence of that, with the cranes and on the Skyline than ever right now. So it's an exciting time to be here.
100%. And when you look at some of the things you're most excited about for Manor, like what kind of developments or opportunities do you feel like will be the biggest for the city and our people?
You know, I'm mainly focused on the commercial growth, trying to bring new businesses here. The retail growth is a function and a subset of the population, of course. Right. Bring more people here. They need places to shop and places to eat and such. I'm also trying to bring in more manufacturing, more professional services, places for people to work. I'm trying to bring in above median county wage businesses so that will have places for people to work that are paying a higher wage. That way we'll increase the number of people coming to Manor, and they'll be looking for higher wage jobs. And that way we'll also be able to attract the people that are making higher wages, and they'll have more disposable income to spend in town, and that relates back to higher sales taxes, and those come back to the city.
That makes a lot of sense. Now, for people who don't understand for whatever reason, why is it important for the resources that the city provides that we have new businesses coming in and that we have more sales tax dollars flowing around in our communities?
Well, the incoming businesses, it's important to have a higher ratio of new businesses in town, because if you have all residential growth on the same square feet of property, you can maybe invest $150 or $200 per square foot in residential property, whereas in a commercial building, you'll put in $400 or $500 a square foot. Well, the ad valorem taxation difference is maybe double or more in a commercial property. So that equates to tax value, that equates to higher property taxes, and that equates to more revenues for the city. Subsequently, you'll have in those retail properties that also have ad valorem taxation, you'll have in the hard goods that are sold and in the property that provide the restaurants and the retail goods and such that provide sales taxes, you'll also have those sales taxes will bring back revenues to the city as well. So you got double opportunities to generate revenues to the city. If they're commercial properties, if they're residential properties, you don't have that. You're providing utility services and police services and such to the residential properties. You're providing some of that also to the commercial properties, but you're not getting the return, as high a return on the ad valorem taxes. You're not getting as high a return on the sales taxes either.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. I mean, one of the things that I've heard from terms of a city planning perspective is we want to make sure that the emphasis on paying taxes is fairly distributed throughout all of the community, and we want to make sure that the pressure for providing the resources for the city do not fall too much on just one party, and thus make it difficult for them to continue to be in a community. And then, otherwise too, it's really important that we are able to afford public safety opportunities. We're able to make sure that all of our services are met, and that's why it's so important. Your work, bringing in these big businesses, or even businesses of any size, which can help make the community grow.
Well, the other issue is when you provide more in the way of commercial properties and they bring in a higher ad valorem tax, it actually has the effect of driving down the residential
Really?
users' taxation. Yeah, because when they're bringing in, say, $500 a square foot in commercial property taxes, overall throughout the city, it's bringing in a higher tax base, so they're paying more of the proportionate tax base, and so the residents don't have to pay as high a property tax because you're bringing in overall more per square foot for that piece of property than the residential is. So you get the commercial users to pay a higher percentage
Right.
than the residential users, and then you don't have to raise the property taxes on the residential users.
100%.
You get the commercial users to pay more of it. So it actually has the benefit of lowering the residential users' property taxes.
Yeah, that's a big deal, and I'm not sure that people always 100% understand that mechanic and why it's that
Well, they
important.
don't. It's important to have to have a weighted average, and you want that weighted average probably to be somewhere in the 15 to 20% range if you can on the commercial side, rather than heavily weighted toward the residential side. If it's heavily weighted toward the residential side, you're going to have your residents pay a higher property tax rate.
That makes a lot of sense, and of course, that's not what any of us want. When you look at, I want to pivot a little bit. When you look at Manor and some of the reasons why people are coming to live and to play here, obviously, I'm hearing from you the effort to go invest in work opportunities, make sure we get high-paying jobs here. What are some of the reasons why more families and people are coming to Manor?
Well, we have a number of reasons. I would say from the developer standpoint, it's because we have lower cost land. We have an easier development process. It's easier for them to get things built than it is in Austin and some of the surrounding suburbs. The timeline to get things developed is lower. And for the residents, I mean, we have good schools. We have a high quality of life. We have a sense of community here that you don't get in some of the larger cities. It's a good place to live. I mean, that's one of the reasons that I came here. I wanted to, well, besides the job, I wanted to have a nice place to live. I could have lived in any of the communities around here. It wasn't a necessity that I lived in Manor, but I chose to live here. Number one, it was close to work, but number two, I like the community. As a matter of fact, I rented outside of the city before I chose to buy a home in Manor, but I chose to live here because it was the right decision for me because I like the neighborhoods and I liked living in town.
I love it. Fans of the show will recall that I always say this line. My grandma has on her wall a sign that says "Never trust a skinny cook." So for me, it's a big deal to I really appreciate people who are investing in the places that they're working, because what it shows me is that they really care about the stuff that they're building. You know what I mean? Like, you live here, so if the city's not growing in the way that you feel like is right, then you're going to feel the pain of that. And so I think that's a big deal. People who live and are active in the community, people whose families are nearby, all this stuff, to me, showcases somebody who's invested and who cares in that way. Does that make any sense?
Yeah, it does. I mean, that's exactly why I'm here. I guess I leased here. My wife and I leased near here for a couple of years, and we wanted to, test the waters.
Right.
I guess, so to speak, see how the community was, and we really, really liked it. So we decided to put our money where our mouth was.
I like it.
And we invested our money here, and we're happy residents of the city of Manor now.
When I look at some of the reasons that people, obviously Manor has like you're talking about Manor's community, the culture we have here. One of the things that I hear oftentimes in growing cities is concern about the potential for a loss of that community sentiment. How do we make sure that we keep people being close-knit and we keep a strong community, even as our communities grow and change?
I think probably we have a lot of, and we're trying to expand this, but you met our community marketing communications director, Ashlyn Taylor, but and Stephanie Cho is our events manager, and we're adding to the number of community events that we're hosting.
Oh, fantastic.
But we have a lot of them right now from Manor Palooza, and we just finished our Juneteenth event. We have a July 4th event coming up, but we're starting to host a lot of those. Once we finish our new City Hall and Library and the Manor Town Center development that I showed you some information on is going to be a new center of the community out on US 290, but that development is going to be a centerpiece for us to hold events like we're talking about. And we also have a 263-acre property out on US 290 that the city owns that we hold a lot of our events on. So we're going to expand those opportunities also, car shows, trade markets, farmers markets, things like that. So to connect the community with the city so that we can have more and more opportunities for our residents to connect with the city and to connect with each other. So I think that's really important to get the people involved. We sponsor community booths. We have City of Manor booths at all of those events, of course, so people can share their feedback and what they like and what they don't like about what we're doing and such. So Ashlyn's in charge of that, and we're trying to get people's understanding about what we're doing right and what we're doing wrong, if we're doing anything wrong. So to the extent that we can get their feedback and we can provide that sense of community, like I was talking about, we want to do a better job of that. And so we need to get that feedback. She's hosting Meet Manor Mondays so that we can get those on-camera experiences and provide the community feedback with what we're doing in town, keep them informed, keep them understanding all the new developments and things that are coming along so that they'll really take part in what we're doing. So I think that's really important.
No, I agree. And it was really amazing getting to learn more about that because it's exactly what we've seen work really well for other cities. It's really important in my mind to educate people on the processes of local government. And I think that maybe it's the fact that it's not taught in schools or whatever the reason, it feels abundantly clear that a lot of people aren't understanding the processes of local government. I think that can be a serious problem, especially when Central Texas is growing. A lot of things are happening, and local control is really important, especially as these individual cities become packed with hundreds of thousands of people. I mean, just look at Williamson County. Each one of those cities is an incredible scale. Anyone who's been in Austin for 20 years is like, I can't believe that those cities are that big. I remember when that was a dirt road. You know what I mean? So I appreciate that. And the effort, to me, it really seems unique because I don't see every city going out of their way to gather that kind of feedback. And one other thing I appreciate is the desire to go out and have conversations. Like, hey, what do y'all think? I feel like that's something that's pivotal to any kind of relationship. If we're talking about my marriage or having a business, something like that, I need to know how people are responding to the actions that I'm taking. And what better way to do that than to get that feedback from the people themselves? It makes a lot of sense. One thing that I think when I called you, I first mentioned this, I was excited about it. I've heard something about a library here in Manor. Am I hearing right?
That's correct. We are in the process helping plan Manor's first ever. Travis County had a library here several years ago, small library that was closed because of environmental concerns. But we are planning our first city library, and that is in conjunction in the same building with our new city hall. And the library is actually going to be 35,000 square feet. It's a large library for a city our size. City hall is about 30,000 square feet, and together the building is going to be about 65,000 square feet. A large facility. It's going to be located like I said, within the Manor Town Center development out on US 290, right at the intersection of Boat Arc and south of 290. And it's in the Manor Town Center development, which is a new development that is being planned at that intersection. And the closing, we have a September 28th ground closing for the development, and we hope to be out of the ground right after that. So
Wow.
I'm involved. I have a meeting coming up right after this, as a matter of fact, with our architects. We're working on the interior design for the building right now, and we hope to be finalizing that in July. And more information will be coming out as we finish those plans, and we're ready to go.
That sounds fantastic. Well, to me, one of the things that's impressive is that it seems like you guys are on it in terms of the timeline. You're focused on making this a priority that we execute sooner rather than later. Is that right?
Yes. Well, the voters approved a bond issue for the City of Manor's Library and City Hall back in 2023 in November, and we have been in the planning process acquiring rights to purchase property and finding the right place to put it initially, and then acquiring those rights and working with the development partner on the master development, where to put it and how to build it and what we wanted in the building and such. And so we're about at the end of that process now, designing the building and such, getting the right pieces and parts together and the right look and feel and the right development structure and what that's going to look like within the development as well, and where it's going to be. We're going to have an event lawn behind the facility. It's going to be a great gathering place for the city. It's not just going to be just a structure itself. It's going to be a great centerpiece, I believe, for the city of Manor as well for the future.
100%. Well, obviously I don't know anything and there's nothing I can reveal, but I just even looking at the plans, and one of the things I really liked was it felt like you had a contagious enthusiasm about the work that you're doing. I mean, obviously the people you're working on it with, everyone seems really smart. And I'm a fan. I love the focus on making a downtown community, making a place where people can hang out more than just go and do one thing. I think this is a really important idea we're talking about in city planning a lot these days. How can we create places where people are going to go out there and live their lives and spend the day? Like I'm privileged to live up north, and we've got a fantastic library in my city. We've just got completed, and it's amazing the impact that it's had. Like next to it, we've got farmers markets, and I'm seeing neighbors and families coming out and getting together in ways that I didn't even know we had this many damn people in the city, and they're all hanging out and enjoying themselves. And to me, it sounds like that's exactly what y'all are going to be building here.
No. And the city council and the mayor here have done a great job of, both getting the plans together, getting the opportunities for the people, and helping us put together the package to make this thing happen, because it's been a dream of a lot of the people here in town for a long time, and we're finally getting it. Not just on paper, but we're going to make it happen. And it'll be actually, end of probably, I think first or second quarter of 28, it'll be up and running.
Really?
So, yeah.
That's a pretty tight timeline. That's exciting. I'll be able to come out and hanging out with you and looking at it. If you'll have me, I would love to take a tour. If you'll have me.
Love to have you back to do that.
Maybe I'll convince my videographer.
I'll show you my office.
Well, I like the idea of that. What do you got in your office? That's a good question. What's your favorite thing you have in your office?
I don't have much in there right now. I guess my favorite thing is the mayor gave me a replica of our city water tower. I guess that's my favorite thing.
That's pretty
right
cute.
now.
Picture the family.
I don't have enough room. I'm gonna bring one of my hunting trophies in here one of these days, but I don't have enough room to hang it right now. Maybe in my new office I will.
No, it sounds like someone's got nice hunting trophies. The only trophies I have are like participation trophies. That and chess trophies, which tells you I was very popular in high school.
Wow, yeah, I bet you were a chess nerd.
Yeah, exactly. See, you know what? I can't believe this. I come to do a great interview with my friends from Manor, and even still, I get my feelings hurt.
I was too.
Hey, yeah, but I'll say this:
Okay,
I feel
was
like
good at it.
There we go. And now look what we do. I get to hang out with you. I'll be honest, it's not that bad of a time. Scott, I want to be respectful of your time. Thank you so much for taking a moment to hang out with me.
Absolutely.
I really enjoyed learning more about the city and the work that you're doing. I appreciate you.
Yep. I appreciate you coming.